So we're calling to order. I'm having trouble getting the right minutes up.
Now, I was just saying, I sent out 2 this afternoon, and I'm not sure whether people have had a chance to look at them. One was for March 18th, and one was for March 30th when we were talking about facilities.
Right. And you had sent out the March 8th ones before.
I think I had, yes.
Yeah, because I looked at those earlier. So,
Okay.
Does anybody need a minute to look at them, or?
Well, I don't have voting privileges, so it will be
Okay.
between you three.
All right, David.
They look all right to me.
Okay.
How are you feeling, David?
Oh, I'm fine. There's
Yeah.
nothing, I have no symptoms. I'm
Well,
just
that's good.
a quarantine for precaution.
Is
Yeah.
it 10 days now instead of 14?
It's
10
10
days
days.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be over on Saturday. I mean, that'll be the last day.
And then do you get tested, or have you been tested?
I had a test on Tuesday morning, but I haven't seen any results yet.
Oh,
They said
okay.
they would call if it was positive, so I haven't heard from them.
Yeah.
That's good news then, I guess.
Probably.
Mhm.
Probably.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so should I make a motion to approve both sets of minutes? Can we do that?
Or
Both? Sure.
Okay,
I'll second the motion.
all right. All those in favor of accepting both sets of minutes?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Again.
okay.
All right. Sarah?
Ready? Okay. The Friends of the Library met 2 weeks ago. They accepted a $1,000 donation to purchase outside furniture at the library. They bought 4 Adirondack chairs and are looking into purchasing a picnic table.
Wow.
Yes, it's gonna look really nice. They voted to purchase the Science Center pass again this year, which we just received today.
Okay.
And they also voted to purchase, flowers and some outdoor decorations, things to kind of brighten up the outside. I'm gonna go see what the problem is with my dog.
Isn't Zoom fun? So David, where did the budget committee meet?
The water and sewer conference room.
Okay.
Mhm.
Not that it was easy. It took a half an hour to get the Zoom thing working.
It was, yeah. I had problems that night.
Were you there too, Mardine, or just? Were you
No, Eli was here running them, getting the meeting going. So I was just kind of off in the other room, kind of heard bits and pieces of it.
Well, actually, Eli started out in the water and sewer conference room,
Yeah.
but they couldn't do it.
Couldn't
They
get it,
couldn't Zoom it, so
yeah, couldn't get enough of a connection. Yeah,
we had to go home.
Well, that's an issue with that building. There's not enough bandwidth.
they need a
times.
stronger signal there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, so was Eli exposed too?
No, he wasn't in the room much more than about 5 minutes.
Oh,
And we've had both shots. So we're, yeah.
very good.
Well, I had both shots, but not the 2 weeks after the first,
Oh,
second
yeah.
shot. So that makes a difference.
Yeah, it does.
So
Sarah's
Realize.
back.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
We had applied for a line of credit from Amazon, which is basically kind of like a purchase order. They're going to bill us 55 days. It's through Synchrony Bank. So we applied and we received a letter of denial saying that they couldn't verify the library's address.
Right.
So
Oh, because it has to be a street address, not a PO box.
Yes, and I had included both the street and PO box in our application.
Of course, yeah.
So after numerous phone calls, they told me that they use Equifax credit reporting agency and that the information that they received was from Equifax. So I called Equifax to see what they have on file, and I was told they have both our physical and post office box.
Okay.
So I don't know what the problem is. Equifax
We're
is
still-
going to send us a copy of our report.
Okay.
And that will have all the information on it that they sent to Amazon. And I guess once I have that, I can try contacting Synchrony Bank again. See if we can get to the bottom of what the issue is.
Okay,
How
good.
strange.
It is strange.
Didn't they just Google it? I mean, Ashland Town Library, I mean.
No, David, people, no. Somebody wasn't paid to do that.
Sounds sensible to me.
No, I've heard of people, other people have run into the same issue, that once you put a PO box, somehow that seems to override your street address. They were denied for the same reason, and they said, yes, of course, I have a numbered 911 street address, but
Yeah,
it's not delivered there. It goes, I have to have a PO box, and yeah, she got quite the runaround. I don't know if it was, or I think she actually gave up and said it wasn't worth it.
That's,
She didn't need that credit card that bad.
I mean, all my credit cards come to the PO box. I've never been asked for a
yeah.
street address.
I don't know, is this something that this might have happened after the Patriots Act? Which was what, 2002, 3?
Yeah, I don't know. I've gotten credit cards since then.
Oh. Your special Alice.
Yeah. Yeah, they like me.
Yeah.
Oh, so what next, Sarah?
Our Destiny hosted site, information site for our ILS integrated library system is moving from a server in Chicago to the Microsoft cloud. And we had talked about that, I think, at the last meeting, because our hosted service fee is going to be increasing by 2%. But they're starting the migration 6 p.m. on Friday, April 30th. And it will be back online Sunday, May 2nd. I'd like to see if we could be closed on Saturday, May 1st. We won't have access to any of our information, to our catalog or patron information.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So you couldn't check anything out or in? Is
No.
that- Okay.
Puts everything down. I've been through that at the school. Yeah.
And
I
Saturday's
know.
a couple hours anyway, right?
Yeah, it is. And I think if we start letting people know now,
Right.
Yes.
be able to plan around it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good.
Our back doorbell hasn't worked in years, and we've noticed now that patrons sometimes will come to the front door and say, oh, I rang the bell, but nobody, came out. The bell doesn't work, so we had no idea.
I didn't know we had.
We had no idea that they were out there ringing the bell. That doesn't work.
Oh,
So, I mean, I was thinking of just taking it off the side of the building, but Lisa decided she wanted to take a look and see if she could fix it.
oh,
And she did.
She
Wow.
was- oh my goodness, thank you.
Yes.
The wires had been cut inside the
Oh.
box.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Being loud.
We don't know who would have done that or
Yeah.
when, but that it hasn't worked in
In years.
years and years.
God.
Wow.
So
The
what
reason I
you just-
attempted to fix it was because I had just fixed my mother's.
So
Oh,
what'd you do?
okay.
Just pull the tape back and retwist the wires?
Kind of, well, I had to strip the wires and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unscrew the ones that were cut and
And re,
reconnect things.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Mom's
Good for
bells
you.
are a little bit different, but the doorbells were identical. They're pretty basic things.
Yeah,
Great.
all right, that's good.
Yes, yes. The state library offered a group discount to all New Hampshire libraries to participate in a virtual summer reading program. It's a 6-week program, which usually costs $600.
Wow,
We are able to participate for $200.
whoa.
So what do they do? Provide you with books or?
It's a virtual summer reading program. Apparently, they're an Emmy award-winning sort of like theater troupe. And so it's a story time
Oh, okay. If this is for you,
online.
younger
There
readers.
are crafts that go with each week.
So it's interactive?
It's not, they can watch it live. It's not interactive. They could also watch it at a later time, or they could watch it over and over again.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's great.
But we are putting together crafts for each week of the 6-week program
Okay,
that will cope. So they'll do a craft in, with the story time.
okay. Mhm. Do they give you a list of supplies to get for the crafts? I would
Yes,
assume.
they're very, very good about a list of supplies.
Oh, that's great.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun.
So I know we're going to talk about this later, but, I'm just wondering if that's something that could be covered by a grant. By that sub-grant.
I don't know. We'll have to,
Yeah,
that money may not come through until the article said June, July, or August.
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I have,
Yeah, for that price, I just thought there's no reason why we can't offer that.
oh, absolutely.
Because we still have a program budget, even though we haven't used much, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
This can be part of the program
perfect.
budget.
Didn't I already write that check?
You did.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't need to vote on it.
All set.
Just
Good.
out of the program budget.
DPW has been in to get some of the work started that needs to happen in the library. They've changed locks on 2 of the windows in the children's room. They actually latch.
Oh,
They stay closed and they're locked.
Ah,
They've started taking down the horsehair plaster from upstairs that's falling down.
Wow.
Mess. And they started repairing water damage to the ceiling upstairs from when the roof was leaking.
wow.
So Craig said they'll be in, any kind of time it's a rainy day or a day that they can't be
Okay.
doing work outside. If they can't be doing something else. Also wanted to talk about technology and computer upgrades at the library.
Oh, I forgot to add that, I think.
Okay. We do have money budgeted for that,
Mhm.
and we have money in the computer fund that's been placed in the savings account.
Right.
A couple of Chromebooks would be nice for both staff and patron use. And our computers are all 10+ years old. We're running Windows 7. That's patron and staff. They need to be replaced.
Mhm.
And I didn't know if a printer copier for the second stack workstation could come from the technology fund or if that would come from somewhere else.
Hmm.
so how many computers would you be replacing? Do you think?
At this moment, 3.
3.
Which 3 are the,
Right now we have one desktop out for public use,
Mhm.
and then 2 for staff.
Okay, okay. Yeah, okay.
And then rather than trying to find more floor space to put another desktop computer
Mhm.
or 2, having them use Chromebooks where they can sit in any
Yes.
available chair and
Yes.
use just seems to make
Yeah.
The
more
3 or
sense. with
4
the space
available
we have,
chairs, yeah.
Right.
That's a good idea. I think that's the direction we need to go.
Right.
Mhm.
How about the staff? Do they need something they can carry around, more portable, so they aren't tethered to a desktop?
That would be nice, and we could share a Chromebook with public, or we could get a Chromebook or a laptop for staff use as well.
Mhm.
That would be helpful.
Yeah, yeah. It would be.
So do you have a particular plan yet, or are you just,
Well, part of what I wanted to start with, because it's a budget line, does it need to be approved, or can I just purchase them?
you need approval to, I think so.
Okay,
Particularly if you're gonna dip into the computer fund.
So again, I got my eye on free money here with that grant. And I think some of these things would fit the parameters of the grant in terms of helping us provide services at a distance.
Mhm. One thing, and I'm sure, Sarah, you've probably had a lot of information on it before we even did through the trustees. But I think we've got to be, what was forwarded to the trustees, as I mentioned earlier, we don't know when the money is going to come through. It has to trickle down from the federal government to the state government, through the governor's council and a couple other groups and state library, and then trickle down. But it will, and I'm sure, as typical with any other grant money, we can't use that money to pay for something we've already bought.
Right.
So I would say if there's some of that technology that we want to start with now, and then if we want to use some of that money when it comes in to add even more. I can see.
Right.
What did it say about?
some of these, I think, are things that shouldn't wait, as you said. We have other wish list items that I think, like creating a hotspot on the second floor.
Mm.
Wi-Fi is iffy up there.
Yes.
So, and there's a spot in the back. I mean, to get Wi-Fi throughout the building, upstairs, downstairs, those kinds of things I would see as wish list items that would be perfect for the grant. But these are items that,
these are day use items.
right, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You need.
When I read the grant language, that's what I thought of. Updating your Wi-Fi acts, applying, so you can update your Wi-Fi, that type of technology. Because you can get by with what you have now, but if you get the grant, that will be you will be able to expand greatly. Like Mardine said, these things are slow as molasses.
Mhm.
These, because it has to go through so many reviews before you actually are awarded
Right.
the money.
But I would say start with the computers now. What we need to replace for the computers, do that now.
Okay, yeah, I think so too. So you want me to come back with some estimates on computers?
I would say that's my
right, I would agree.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how close we are to opening it up, the library, more generally than it is by appointment now. I mean, so I'm not quite sure what the timetable is on that, when we need to have these computers in place, so.
Well, we have no outside tech support, keep in mind.
Mhm.
So
Right.
library staff have to set up the computers, install the software,
Yeah.
figure out all the wiring,
Yeah.
we would have time for that now, more time now than we would have if we were open.
Okay, well, yeah. Are you,
Lisa's
I
got her
guess
hand
that
up.
was my question. How fast do you want to do this? I mean, if you want to do it immediately, should we vote on something tonight, or I don't know what your timetable is?
I would say the sooner the better.
Mhm.
Lisa, did you have something?
I kind of had a question on the IT part of it, because we I say we, Terry does an awful lot of it, but it's very, it's a lot for us to try to do all this stuff
Time
that we
consuming.
don't really know and understand.
Yeah.
And we did have a gentleman, we had something that we couldn't figure out one time. And it's someone that we know and have worked with, Ray and I. And his name is Bill Powers, and he has actually come to the library, and that's what he does for work, is install and set up computers and builds them and everything.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that would be some kind of option you would want to talk to him about, working with him to do this. And he's very reasonably priced. I can't give you any prices, but he's very reasonably priced. And I know Mason Enterprise uses him because, again, we can't do this stuff ourselves. And any kind of issue or problem, I know that Mason Enterprise has. I mean, Bill Powers can come on and he can take control of the screen and do everything and fix everything remotely, everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's just an option to,
Mhm.
if you're looking for something like that, because it's quite a challenge to deal with all this technology and the new stuff.
Mhm.
And I mean, even just setting up a laptop was, I won't say it was over my head, but it's a lot. It's a new
Wow.
thing, the new programs and software and everything.
Because you do have programs and applications that need to be installed or transferred. You've got to make sure your whole network works, that everything talks to the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very involved.
it is.
yeah.
It is.
I don't know, like I said, I'm just throwing that out there as maybe something you might want to look at. Might not be Bill Powers. It could be someone else, but
Yeah.
he is a local guy and
Mm.
he seems to know his stuff. And he's also a library trustee in another town.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
The more technology you bring into that building, you really need to have somebody that you can contact to troubleshoot.
I agree.
I mean, the town has they have somebody that they contact when they have to have this stuff done. The office staff doesn't have to set the stuff up themselves.
I know we've spent hours sometimes just trying to
Oh.
get something to print.
mhm. Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
it's not work, that type of thing.
Sarah,
I didn't mean to give
Sarah, the two staff computers that you'd be replacing, what would you replace them with? A laptop or?
Probably keep the desktops in each workstation.
Okay.
It would be nice to have at least one laptop that could just float around whoever needed to use it,
Yeah,
whether
okay.
it's,
Mhm.
depending on what the staff member wanted to use it for.
Okay.
We are cataloging upstairs. We're almost done in every room except the room with the really big books. I've been bringing them downstairs. I'm not bringing all those books up and down
No,
the
no.
stairs. It'd be great to
take
be
multiple trips up and down those stairs.
Yeah,
Armful of books at a time.
Mhm.
great. Yeah, we really need to work on getting everything upgraded at the library.
So you'd have two desktop computers. The Chromebooks would be separate from that when you do the Chromebooks?
Yes, yeah. So yeah, two Chromebooks for patron use is how I'm envisioning that. Might get them with Zoom capabilities, so there's a camera.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think there's all kinds of applications. We don't have anything with a camera at the library, so we couldn't do a Zoom meeting
Oh,
at the
okay.
library.
Yeah.
But, we could do the same with a laptop if we have
Right.
a staff use laptop.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
discovered that when Lisa had to go all the way home after working because she couldn't Zoom from the library because none of the computers
Yeah.
have cameras.
Mhm.
So yeah, we're in need of some upgrades.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a given now. You have to you can't hang on to this stuff for 10 years any longer.
Right. Okay, so do we need to vote to allow Sarah to spend this money?
For what exactly? Sarah, are you at a point where you could, make a proposal that we could vote on, or? are you still studying?
Not tonight. I mean, 2 Chromebooks would cost $250 a piece.
Each, yeah.
I'm still shopping around for desktops. I like the laptop idea. I haven't started on that.
Okay, so maybe by next month. You'll be
Okay.
ready to-
Okay,
Or if you, I would say if you come up with something sooner, we could do a quick meeting and vote on it
right.
Yeah.
Sure.
rather
That
than,
would be great.
rather than wait a whole month.
Sounds good.
Depending on people's schedule.
All right. Do you have anything else, Sarah?
That will do it for me. I do believe. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, David.
Oh, well, the treasurer has not made a report because he's quarantined at home. So, but he's hoping to get out of that and maybe do it next week. I was wondering, Sarah, if you've seen any sign of the town appropriation, the payment for
It
April?
came today.
Oh, okay. That's good. And you already talked about the credit card problem, so that's really all I got. So I'm hoping to get you all copies of a report next week
Okay.
sometime.
Okay.
Could that be an addenda to the minutes of this meeting?
Sure could.
Okay.
All right. So we're ready for our old business. I keep, looking at my binder and thinking, boy, it's probably time for us to kind of do a thorough going over. But does Kathleen need one as a alternate?
I was going to request if you had rules of procedure that I have a copy of those. Do you have rules of procedure?
For the trustees?
Yes.
We've got a big binder with a lot of information.
Okay, so before everybody else came on, I am participating in the webinar on Saturday for trustees.
Oh, good.
And they had 3 mini webinars they wanted people to access before Saturday. So the first one was library laws, trustee responsibilities, and library policies, and that every library should have policies.
We do.
And that every library gets a red binder from the state. I'm assuming, no?
No, I'm saying, that's the state provided binder.
So you can download it, which I did, but I haven't looked at it yet. But it's referred to as the red binder.
Okay.
But you're supposed to have rules of procedures with your policies
For the trustees.
for the trustees. Yeah.
Okay.
And then oh, wait a minute, this is budgeting. That's the one I'm doing tomorrow. That, in the policies why libraries need written policies. They're required by law.
Yeah,
If you don't adopt them, they just happen. They provide guidance to board, staff, and patrons. They assure consistency, comfort, and trust.
we do have policies. We have lots of policies.
Okay, and they suggested they should be available on your website. And the policy should make it, for circulation materials, challenge materials, overdue items and fines, financial investments, purchasing, meeting room policy, personnel policies. So
We've got all of those.
you've got all of those, but you don't have a copy that could be forwarded to me. That's what I'm requesting.
Not all in one document, do we?
No,
No.
well, we could make one.
So that's what I gleaned from this webinar. I'll use the royal we, have a dedicated policy and procedure document that is available to the public also.
So
that-
Sarah, you have paper copies. I know you have.
I
paper.
do, and they're on my,
they are online?
no, they're on my computer.
Computer.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
See, this is what happens when you take these webinars.
Yes.
No, it's good.
I'll have to ask them that.
This is the.
So the one I'm doing tomorrow is all about budgeting, and then Terry Knowles has a standalone one and that's where it was mentioned about the red binder, and you could download it, which
How
I
many
did.
pages is that?
And I'm sorry,
How many pages is that?
58, I think it was.
Oh, okay. I figured it was more than that.
58 is plenty. No, I didn't print it off. But it's dated 2016, so that's the last time. And from what I read, they're supposed to be provided to every library. Do you know what I'm talking about, Sarah?
I do.
Okay.
And we have a red binder. I think it's much older than that.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
So yes, I could come back with all sorts of new notions after Saturday.
Uh-oh.
And that's a 2-hour webinar.
Wow. Mhm. Okay.
Wow. Okay, so do we as trustees need to request? Oh no, you already downloaded it.
Yeah, it's on my computer, so I can,
Okay.
in my spare time, I could just peruse it, and
Is that the same as the trustee manual?
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Okay, that's what I thought. Because right on the Library Trustees Association, there's a link right on the front page to it. Yeah.
I have to admit, I just kept clicking the links, and I couldn't even tell you where it came from, where I got this webinar stuff.
Yeah. If you go right to nhlta.org,
Okay.
trustee manual is right on the front.
I said, click here. That's what I did.
Yeah. I thought at one time we had maybe a USB key with all our policies or something, but I'm going to have to look through my computer and see and look through my USB keys. And
Because
what I've
if we ever get past this COVID thing, that something like how you've had to deal with access to the library might have to be incorporated into a policy. How you're going to manage shutdowns and.
Oh, Sarah's done a couple things dealing with pandemic policy procedures. Yeah, she's got a couple of those already.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know where to find them. I would have to come in and ask you to photocopy it for me.
I can scan, might be a huge document. Let's say I could scan it and put it on a travel drive and mail it to you. Would that be
Oh,
easier? Do you
I
want
don't know.
Do you want it on paper?
Mm. See, that's what I was afraid of. I hate opening up that can of worms. Think about it.
Okay.
However, yeah, I guess if you have a link and I can download it. The laptop I'm using now basically has nothing on it.
Hmm.
The old one that made all the noise is the one that's loaded. The one I had to stop using because it made so much noise during Zoom meetings. I just want to be
Okay.
prepared if I'm ever posed with a question, but I can always defer to
Certainly.
others.
Any of us. Yep. Yep. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're taking the webinars, and we'll hopefully can get you some. I'm going to look at my computer and see what I've got on it for that kind of stuff. All right. So the internet upgrade. This is exciting.
Yes. Who would have thought it would take over 4 months to get a quote? But
It sounded like from your correspondence, that's typical with other libraries too.
Yes. And that since Spectrum is basically the only deal in town,
Right.
and many communities do not have a choice. You would think they would be more accommodating to keep up to gain a customer or keep what customer base they have, but
I can put the page with the price on it up on the screen. We want.
Oh, good. Thank you. Because I didn't.
I'll do that.
I forgot
Very
it, that I
sweet.
did not. I didn't open it.
It's basically $720 a year. So
Yeah. Okay.
that's not bad.
No, not
That
bad.
monthly price, that's only $20 more than what I'm paying. And so I pay just for phone and internet, and the router, $5. I'm paying $99 a month.
You're not doing TV cable?
Nope,
Oh,
no,
okay. Because mine's a lot more than that, and I. How's she
no,
getting?
no, that's in order to bundle, that's the lowest I could go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's still $99 a month.
Okay. So this is under the E-rate also, I noticed, which
Yeah.
is a discount for education, that type of thing.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yes.
well, sir, are you satisfied with this is give you what you want?
yes, it's going to be a whole lot more, faster, more bandwidth than what we have now. It's definitely a move in the right direction.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, prices do not include taxes, surcharge, and or fees. So whatever they may be.
Mm.
They can add up, yeah.
What's all L companies?
That I don't know. Are you going to be talking to the representative, Sarah?
Yes, I'll have to let him know that we would like to go ahead with this quote and then
Okay.
talk about,
Oh, and they waived the install.
they did waive the install, which is very nice. We'll have to talk with a technician to see about the installation and what that will take.
If you're talking to the representative at all, maybe ask him, are there taxes and fees added to it, or is this a flat fee?
Yeah.
Yeah, they may, yeah, I don't know. Don't know whether we get any break because we're a library on taxes.
Well, it's almost like a nonprofit, and I mean, you're not You're not a revenue generator. You're not a
Right.
business making money.
Well, it seems like we better find that out before we vote, so we have a number that we know we're voting on.
Well, you're not gonna find it any,
No,
this is the only game in
No,
town.
I know.
Yeah. I know, I understand. You just want to know, you want the exact amount that you're voting on.
Yeah, I think that.
well, I'm comfortable with going ahead with this and approving it. Actually, didn't we already vote on? Didn't we already vote on this?
We did. And we
okay.
were given a different quote and then found out it's not actually our representative and we had to talk to somebody else, but yeah, we did. I don't remember what that amount was. I think it was more, I think it was more money than this.
Hmm.
There was a first vote and then there was a second vote because the number changed. Because they quoted you the wrong.
Right.
I'm trying to look back and I'm not sure if I'm going to find it.
Well, if everybody's okay with it, then we
Yeah.
don't, need to worry about that.
We had already approved upgrading to the 200 megabyte. Yeah.
Okay.
So do we vote or not? Or,
I don't think we need to.
okay,
Right. Yeah, that's what seems to be the consensus.
Well,
remember when the vote
well,
was?
I'll see if I can find in my notes what the last amount was, and why don't we go on with other things too while I'm looking
All right.
instead of me stalling things.
That's okay. Okay, so the next thing in old business is building maintenance. Sarah, I think you've given us an upgrade from what DPW is working on.
Yes. It's been very nice.
Yeah.
Right. They actually fix things when you want it fixed. It's amazing.
Yes.
So nothing more on that. Nothing. Do I have the? Yeah, I think I have later on the whole issue with the
Mhm.
sprinkler.
Yeah.
All right. Any word from Ward?
Yes, I was able to meet with Ward this afternoon.
Oh my goodness, that's so exciting.
It was very exciting.
I'm thrilled.
We had a good talk, walked around and showed him the building. We walked around outside even though it was snowing and windy and
Right.
he hopes to have a plan to give to us by October.
Wow.
They've hired 2 more architects and they still can't keep up.
Oh, I can imagine.
They're
Yeah.
extremely busy.
Well, you don't plan on having the survey until what, July or August, correct?
True, and he
Yeah.
wants to see, he'll need to see the survey before he can go
Yes.
far with it anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
He also asked for a copy of the building inspector's report that was done last spring, and I'm not sure I have that.
I think that's the one with all the pictures.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got a copy of that somewhere. I'll get it to you.
You could request the new building inspector to come in and do a more in-depth
Yes.
inspection.
If they're particular, I was going to say something about Scott Vienne, the new building inspector, code enforcement officer, is very good, very responsible, very professional. If we have any issues with the building that we want someone to look at, for instance, if we had a roof problem and we wanted to get an idea of, what's wrong, what needs to be done, he would be a good contact to use. If at any point we want any inspection of any particular area or whatever, or recommendations and what needs to be done, he is a good resource. So definitely keep him in mind. He's a town employee. He's there for us to use.
Wonderful. That's good.
And
to
he
know.
may even, if we get to the point of doing something with the ramp at the back or the door in the front, he may have some suggestions also.
That would be good.
That's what he does. He's got the construction background also.
I'm looking to see, because I swear that I sent Ward that document. But
I think you talked about that. I know we've talked about it.
yeah,
Mhm.
so but I'll check on that so that we don't have to duplicate work.
Thank you.
So, well, that's so exciting. I'm so glad that that he came by.
Yes, it is. It is. So things are moving along.
That's progress, and we have a date. We have a bit of a time frame.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yes. Now, the set of minutes that we approved tonight that I typed up today from April 30th. No, March 30th.
Yep.
March 30th. When we were talking about the building. If you haven't looked at it, Sarah, it should be your email from this afternoon.
All right.
That would take a look at it first. If you want to add anything to it or tweak any of it as far as information to pass on to Ward.
Okay. Yeah.
We talked about the different areas and had some questions about this and that. And we talked about different areas we needed, where things were in relation to each other. So I think that would help him a little bit too.
It would. And, yeah, our vision, and he's done libraries, obviously. He's done libraries before, so,
Yes.
and even a few recently.
Mhm.
So he is up on what libraries need.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Yep. That's great. Very good. Progress. Very good. 150th anniversary. Again, this is just a placeholder in our old business, but if anybody has any new thoughts or
Plymouth State buried a time capsule, right? See that?
there's already a big hole in the lawn, right?
Yes, there's a big hole. We put a James Patterson book in there. They can dig it up 150 years from now.
You'll probably still be
Oh.
writing.
Yes.
You have to dedicate that hole to Amanda.
Oh my God.
I was in one library in Massachusetts, in Topsfield, and they actually had a box that was, similar to the time capsule, but instead of burying it in the ground, they just put it on top of a bookshelf in the library or I think the reference room.
Okay.
So everybody would know where it was, and it was safe. Because I'm not too sure about these things you bury. Sometimes they leak.
Right.
And then you unbury them 50 years later, it's paper
And
muck.
everything is ruined.
So that might be an idea if you want to do a time capsule. Might be easier than burying it.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, I noticed in the minutes, again, September 9th was the day, I forget the year, when the library moved to the Scribner building.
Right, and opened here, yes.
So, I think that might be a good target date for us. And, we hope we're going to be able to do some sort of gathering at that point, and especially outside.
Yeah. Mhm.
So,
And then depending what kind of updates we get from Ward and what his time schedule in, celebrating the 150th around in September, we could then be, if we have at least a time frame from Ward, we could talk it up at that point for the next stage.
Right.
That's a nice segue. Yeah. I
Yes.
like it.
Yep.
I was thinking along the same lines as Mardine, you might, if you're not hung up on the exact date, you might be able to roll in a rededication and then give the news, then what's going to happen going forward at the same time.
Kickoff. Yeah.
Yes, kind of like that, a kickoff,
Mhm.
that you combine two events together.
Yeah.
Well, September 9th is a Thursday, so it's probably not a great night. You probably want to look at a weekend, actually.
Yes. Mhm.
We don't
But you're a
have to
little
pick a night.
flexible in how you're going to celebrate, might gather more attention if it's not just a standalone.
Yeah.
Roll it into a great big rah, rah, rah type thing.
Mhm. Mhm. Right. Yeah. I think so. Okay. So we don't want to use September 9th.
But September's a good month. We can maybe
Yes,
refine it a
yes.
bit later on.
Yeah. I was thinking today about, the lawn and how hot it gets, and it'd be nice to have some kind of a pavilion or something, for events that has a little roof.
A
But
gazebo. We could use the grant money.
Yeah.
Outdoor
That's
socially
inventive. Oh,
distanced
that's inventive.
programming.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Programming space, yes.
Something we'd be able
That
to
you can
move.
social distance.
So, and a good thing to think about, as we go forward with Ward to talk about some kind of outdoor covered seating.
A covered space. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be nice.
Along with the farmer's porch.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
The farmer's porch. So we really don't want to set a firm date quite yet.
Well, I should see what other things are happening that month too, and get some idea of that. I'm not even sure when Labor Day is.
Uh,
Yeah.
6th, better
And
Labor Day is the 6th, a Monday.
Okay, the Monday before.
and Columbus Day, then would be bringing it more to when we might have news from Ward.
That will be also a Monday,
Yeah,
11th.
but that weekend might be
Yeah, could be.
to do
Well-
something with a lot of tourists around. We might, get money.
I don't. It's pretty much a local celebration, I'm sure.
Well, if there was something going on the lawn and people are driving through, it might generate some interest.
Yep, that's the value of the location.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anything else about the 150th that we want to think about now?
No, not really.
Okay. So again, survey of property, nothing new there. Has Tony, do we have a date, or it's just 3 or 4 months out? from
Yeah.
last month?
I
Okay.
don't have it. I'll check with him in another week or two.
Okay.
Yeah. See if he needs anything. Sarah, that, I'll send you an email to remind you, the next time you talk to Ward, we need to ask him if he wants contours on the survey of the plot.
Okay.
Right.
I'll email you about that though. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I imagine he would need that.
Okay. So the sprinkler system, I saw that we said we were going to talk about that at our next meeting.
Yes.
Are we any wiser than we were at our last meeting? Or?
I'm not.
No, yeah, I don't know why we were just why we
Yeah.
put it off.
Yeah.
Um,
I know the other day when I was out there, and I don't know how much is just because of the winter and how much it will spring back. The back lawn is not in good shape at all.
No,
It was crabgrass and dandelions before, and now it's just crunchy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, last summer it got totally burnt.
yeah.
yes,
As
It-
many lawns. Yeah.
and then the hole. I'm sure they had to do some digging up.
Yeah.
For the hole. So
So I don't know what to do about the sprinklers.
How extensive, how far does it cover? Just the back there?
Just the
No
back, I
idea.
believe. I believe there's like
How many heads?
three maybe.
That's not very
Oh.
many.
Oh, but it covers though.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
they
you
would.
see out there. I think there's three.
why bother? If it's crabgrass,
I know,
and
but you don't want it
it-
brown looking. It's just,
I know.
it's not even greening out.
It's just gonna turn brown because if it's crabgrass, it dies around August anyway, so.
Do we have any sense of what the cost is for them to start it up again and check it? I don't.
No, but every year they come and it has to be repaired.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's quite a process. They make several trips back
Oh,
to the property.
Mhm.
And the last sprinkler head in the line is the one that fills up with sand, which is actually not far from the giant hole that Amanda fell into. So that
oh,
could,
interesting.
yeah, it could be, a correlation there.
If you're worried about the optics, maybe you could put a sign, please excuse the lawn. This is the future area of the future library expansion.
would be,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
would it be just as good to get a couple hoses and put sprinklers out there when somebody's there?
I think it would be a lot less expensive and probably easier. We have one spigot out front. I don't think there's one in the back, but we could hook some hoses together and figure it out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We ought to check that before we do buy any even hoses. Let's check, make sure, see if that works.
Aren't there some hoses out in the shed?
I don't go in the shed. It's scary in there.
David, you go in the shed. You go check it out.
We do have a key to it now, so I guess we should. I thought there were some hoses. I don't know what the status of them are. Strange echo there.
Yes. You got a reverb going.
Mhm.
Where's that? thing?
I just feel like it doesn't make sense to spend money on the sprinkler system at this point.
No.
Because that's where the work's gonna be done.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Get some snow fencing and put it like they do in the city and put it on the work site.
Make it look like we're doing something. Yeah.
I could check to see what we have for hoses and sprinkler heads.
And see if that works.
What is going on here?
There's an echo or something, some interference. I don't know.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay. So do we need to contact the well company to say don't bother?
No, they only wanted us to contact them if we wanted them to come out. They were offering a discount if we committed to having them come out this summer.
Yeah.
If we had done that back in, I don't know, February or March or whenever they sent the information.
Let's just do what we locally. Yeah.
Okay. It sounds good to me.
Right. We're at new business. It's exciting. So we had emailed back and forth a little bit about that book, Sarah, and I didn't know if you downloaded it or bought a
I haven't done it. I was waiting to see what you decided.
Okay. I think it can't hurt
Okay.
for $24.
Yeah. And it's fairly recent, isn't it?
Yes, that was the.
Yes.
There's so much online that's not,
That's-
and things change so rapidly that it's like even 3 years is old.
Yeah. I'd like to take a look at it too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's good to get.
Great. All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So returning to meeting in person. After
The only
the,
place that looks large enough now that the reference room has been turned into an office, is the children's room where we used to hold the movies. Unless we want to meet outside. That seems to be the only place that's handicapped accessible and large enough for a meeting in the library. So I was thinking we might need a table or two. I wonder what this is. So, but I thought maybe before we do that, we could sort of try out this place the first time we do it. You know, see what we have to do in there, what it looks like. I have a couple of card tables. We have a little table upstairs for the friends. And, you know, we can see what kind of arrangement, how much space we have. We do have folding chairs.
Getting an awful echo here.
Yes,
Where are they coming from? What
I
happened?
can't hear him.
I don't know.
Is there a phone
didn't
or
change
something
any.
on?
Is what?
Do you have a phone or something on? What? I don't know.
don't
It's
know.
very echoey.
Yeah, I don't know what's causing it.
It suddenly started. We didn't have it at the beginning.
Now, right now, it's good.
Now it's good.
Better.
Okay.
I,
Go ahead, Mardine.
there are two issues with meeting in person. One issue would be where, but the second issue is if and when.
Yes.
I don't think we are in any place yet to decide when we're going to start meeting in person.
Well, it's not our decision. It's the governor's decision.
No, it is
So
our,
it's our decision.
it is our decision.
Well, don't,
He's not, okay, he has not changed the statement that says you can meet totally virtually. He has
Right.
not, he has not stopped that yet.
right,
And
but
I
he-
have a feeling he may not be stopping that.
right, but I'm thinking ahead that someday he's going to just erase that. It's going to go away. And I'm just thinking we should start thinking about what we're going to do and where we're going to do it.
So are you saying that if he rescinds the order, whatever it is, we can't choose to meet remotely?
Completely virtually. The standard rule, the normal rule is there has to be at least a portion of a board meeting in person.
I
Some of,
believe a quorum,
Quorum.
yeah, I think it's a
which is
quorum.
2 out of the 3.
Right.
So
But the exception that was set up during this time period was that they set aside that requirement for a quorum meeting in person.
Okay.
Said the whole, an entire board or entire commission can meet virtually. And yes, it is, David is right. At some point, he could rescind that particular order that allows people to meet totally virtually. Yeah, at some point, you're right, David, it's going to happen. But there are, the children's room is small.
Yeah, but it's the largest.
I
space we
don't know
have.
if, see, we still, the other issue is we may not, even if he rescinds that order and says you've now got to start meeting in person, we may still be in a situation where we are not ready to open the library,
Mhm.
Right,
to totally open the library. If we are not in a position to totally open the library, we're not going to want to jeopardize that space for the staff and the patrons that are coming in by appointment. Okay, us meeting there in the children's room as a group face to face is going to, if the library is still closed and doing visits by appointment, us meeting there as a group in a space could jeopardize that. So that's the other half of the issue. And as far as judging when we do or do not open the library entirely, I personally want to rely on the staff decision on that
Yeah.
and how comfortable they are with the people in town and the conditions in town. That's going to determine that change.
And this issue with the budget committee, I mean, that to me is like, well, I don't want to meet in person, even if I have my shots. I don't know.
And honestly, I find it very difficult to communicate wearing a mask at a meeting. That at least this way, we can see each other. We don't have to wear a mask. It's not muffled. Now that we've been doing this for a year, I honestly don't see the value of having to sit in a room at a table with other people. I don't think that facilitates you getting any more work done than the way we're doing it here now. If you have to social distance still, you're not making eye contact with your fellow board members. And even if you go back to the old way of sitting at a long table, I know from my experience, I couldn't see the person at each, I could only see who was sitting next to me. I could not see the people at the opposite end of the table. So I couldn't make eye contact with them. So to me, this, I read last week that it's already been debated that this probably will not go away in some way, shape, or form. Zoom is here to stay on many levels.
I would like to say that as a member of the public attending a meeting and as a business owner, I can come into my house. I don't even need to be on the video. I can have the audio on.
Mhm.
I can do whatever it is I'm doing, whether it's cooking dinner or, whatever. And I can still be kind of in tune as to what is happening live with these meetings.
Mhm.
And know what's going on. And like you said, I don't think we're going to see the Zoom thing going away anytime soon. And the same thing, you can't communicate with someone with a mask on and everybody's wearing a mask and then you got plexiglass or something between you. It just plain doesn't work. I don't care what kind of setting it is, whether it's, a meeting like this or, going to visit my father in a nursing home. It's the same thing.
And by the way, there's
Don't
nothing
get
set
there.
up to even clean the water and sewer meeting room. There's no cleaning service.
I
Now,
wondered
That
about
has
that.
not been cleaned.
and there's
since
no air
COVID.
purifiers in there. No.
No, nobody has cleaned that building in a year.
And even if you had a meeting in the library, now that the Scribner room upstairs has a big conference table in it, and there is room enough for maybe 3 people or whatever to spread out up there. But if you needed the handicapped accessibility,
Right.
You would have to have
you could have a place downstairs and maybe you could do the Zoom thing that way or something. You know, like, I don't know how to describe.
So
how you
someone
do
who
it.
couldn't climb the stairs could
Right.
meet via Zoom downstairs.
If we had the Chromebook laptop thing,
Sure. Oh, yeah. Yep.
yeah.
I think
That could work.
ultimately, the whatever time frame is used for opening the library, whatever stage that is at, I think that will determine whether we can meet in person in the library at all. If the library, even if the governor rescinds the meeting virtually, and we are still limiting who comes into the library, I think that has to apply to us also.
I agree with that. I think it's good we're talking about it at this stage. We have some time, I believe, because I don't think that it's going to be rescinded anytime soon. And, hopefully, like, I was thinking of the water and sewer meeting room, but hearing about the connectivity issues, that doesn't make it a good choice. And
I'm more concerned
nobody's
about the
cleaning it.
cleaning issues.
Right, yeah,
The
Yeah.
connectivity issues in there eventually will be taken care of.
right, that's what I
Actually,
figured.
they'll be resolved. It's the cleaning issue in there right now. If we were able to meet in person, somewhere, I think size-wise, that room is the best, the
Yeah.
water and sewer conference room.
I agree.
And when the technology gets fixed up, it will allow us to do a lot of things there. It's a disadvantage in that it's not in the library. Sarah doesn't have quick access sometimes to things. But if we were able to meet in person and all things were copacetic, that would probably be better than trying to cram into the children's room and move furniture around.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, it would cause some issues for Sarah because typically we met in the library and she was the second person on duty,
Mhm. Yeah.
so that wouldn't.
Yeah.
But all right.
There are some tough issues to figure out when we get there.
Well, since you meet once a month, that you should have a couple of weeks if the order is rescinded to
Yeah.
make a decision.
Mhm.
If we had a beautiful day, we could meet out on the lawn. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm. Right.
We can get a tent.
We have a 10 by 20.
Oh, no, that's right. The friends.
So
have
that
a
will get you four people in the 10 by 20 socially distant.
That's right. Right. Yeah, we can't be
One
crowded.
for
in
each
a little
corner.
tent. All right.
You put one in the middle. You can get 5 people in there. I
Oh,
think.
okay.
That'd be
Or
tough.
only we draw straws to see who gets to be in the tent. And who gets to-
Public has to be outside.
Hope it doesn't rain.
right. Or snow. Remember, we did meet when it was snowing one day last year.
Oh, last spring, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Probably about this time.
It was.
So, all right, Sarah. So let's talk about the vandalism. Did they take stuff out of the pantry?
They took stuff out of the pantry. We've had things on the front porch for over a year. We've had a shelf with books, the craft kits for children, and just recently, since the weather warmed up, we moved some little free pantry items outside so that they're more accessible. We've had donations to the pantry and we wanted to make sure that people could access that. Yes, they made one heck of a mess. Dumped the craft kits out on the floor. Got into looked like any kind of food or anything they could get into and dumped that on the floor. There was trash and, some of it's kind of gross. But the worst was the oil that they poured on the stairs, both sides of the stairs, which made the steps extremely dangerous. They were very slippery.
Yes. Mhm.
So there was a police report. And I had to call Craig because I didn't know what I was supposed to do other than putting sand down or something. I didn't know what to do about the stairs.
Mhm.
He came and used degreaser and scrubbed the stairs with a push broom, hosed it off. He was out there for a couple of hours Monday afternoon, and then Tuesday morning they returned with a steam cleaner.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not sure how long they were there with the steam cleaner. The oil has been removed. It's no longer slippery, but the oil has stained the granite.
Mhm.
Mm.
We need to report that to Primex.
Okay.
Okay, it definitely should be reported to Primex. Anything of that type should always be reported to Primex, even if it's not something where there's a big cost, any kind of damage or
To town property.
any damage to town property.
Well, it could be a criminal investigation, I would think, with the amount of,
Yeah.
with the amount of money that's
Half hours.
going
Yeah.
Yeah.
through to come
Yeah.
and clean
Mm.
this up.
Mhm. Sarah, at one point, didn't Charlie give you access to get into Primex to report something?
Oh, yes, that was years ago.
Call call Fran or Catherine
Okay.
office. They should be able to get you the process or how to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you take any photographs of the mess or anything?
No, I wish I had thought of it. My instinct was to clean it up, and it's just it was like food garbage, and somebody had been eating something, and so there's kind of like half-eaten food garbage, and then of course the mess with the oil, which could have posed a safety hazard.
Well, and they ruined a lot of books and magazines.
They ruined some books. They wrote, they sure had a lot of fun on the porch. Everything on the porch has been removed. So it's no longer there.
Aw.
I know it is. It's sad.
To do that. Yeah.
It's like, why now? Why?
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's been there,
A year
over a
almost.
year.
Yeah. Did it happen over the weekend?
Yes.
Okay.
One day I went by, not last week, maybe it was the week before. I did see 3 teenage age group not sitting down at the bottom. They were quite far up, which I had never noticed before. They were on their cell phones. I would say almost maybe just before you went in. It just caught my eye because they were sitting so close to the door, not down near the wall
Yeah,
where
the
they
kids
usually
sit there.
hang out.
Yeah.
No, the kids sit up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this does sound like a kid prank.
It does.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But there's ramifications.
Yeah.
There is,
Yeah.
There could have been a very dangerous ramification.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody could have been badly hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was going way too far. That
Yeah. And
Oh.
now that they sort of figured out that it's open, I mean, I know everybody knew that, but like
Yeah.
there could be other mischief.
Yep, there could be.
Yeah. So the company that did our inside cameras.
Yes, they can do outside cameras.
Mhm.
How many more slots are there on the present system?
Oh, that's
In terms of
right.
Yeah.
None on the DVR that we have.
Oh,
Okay,
I see. Okay.
However, we had to have a physical DVR because the past Scrivener trustees would not allow us to have it web-based.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
right.
that's right.
That's no longer an obstacle.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So,
I would say, yeah.
I mean,
have-
I'm just wondering, like the ring, everybody gets these ring things for their front porch.
Mhm.
Is that, are we looking at something like that or something different?
My neighbor offered his game camera.
Yeah. Well,
It's kind of the same, the same type of technology.
I
They
think,
could, I don't know, they could take the ring camera down, or they could take the SD card out of the
Yeah.
game camera.
Oh,
Yeah.
Much better off going with the, you
yeah,
know, mounted on the building.
yeah,
Where
yeah,
they can't reach it.
On the building. that
No,
covers
we need,
right down.
this is 2021. We need to get
a real
Yeah.
system, yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
talk to the same company.
Get with it.
And cloud-based service.
if anything, this was a wake-up call that this is the time where, how am I going to put this? That you've been fortunate that you haven't had, well, maybe you have, not that I'm aware of, major vandalism, but all it takes is one incident. And the technology's out there, and you need to provide a safe place, safe access to the building.
Sarah, are you suggesting that we then now go to cloud for indoor and outdoor?
I'd like to explore the option.
Yeah, it's an option, yeah.
It wasn't something,
DVR, what is this, 1995? Oh, no, that's still,
You can thank the former Scrivener trustees for that.
jeez. See, I didn't know that, I'm
and if
still trying to
they-
process
if
that.
somebody knew where it was, they could break into the library, do whatever they want, take the DVR with them, and
Yeah,
no camera footage.
yeah. So it sounds like an old action movie,
I mean, this
From
stuff
the
can be
90s.
deleted from it and everything.
Yeah.
You know,
That company could give us, that company could give you some options.
Absolutely, I'd like to listen, I mean, the cameras that we have in the building have a very wide angle.
Mhm.
I'd like to talk to them about placement,
Yes.
how many we might need. We've got the back corner, which
Mhm.
has been an issue in the past. You can't see the back corner from Main Street or Pleasant Street.
Yeah,
Yeah. Might want a camera there. If we're gonna open the second floor to the public, since they're coming anyway, I think we should get an estimate for cameras on the second floor. Because if the public's gonna use it, there needs to be some kind
yeah,
of security camera, some kind of supervision.
mhm, yeah,
probably both doors you want to have a camera on.
definitely,
Yes.
yes.
When your cars have been hit, are they on Pleasant Street or Main Street?
Both.
Wow.
The recent one was Pleasant Street.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was. And it
Sorry,
was-
Lisa.
And it was
That's
all
horrible.
on cloud-based video surveillance.
Mhm. Yep,
From Racing Mart, yeah. Racing Mart has 12 cameras.
wow.
12?
12 cameras.
Wow.
Wow.
And it's all cloud-based.
Mhm, yeah,
And just so you know, the damage to my car is $2,731
Wow.
Did they catch him?
plus a rental.
Is there anything on the video?
Oh yeah, they know who did it, and
Oh,
they talked to him, and he admits being at the store at 4:13 on Friday afternoon, but he will not admit to hitting my car,
So it was
even though it's on
daylight.
video.
It was daylight.
Yes, oh yes, it was daylight.
wow.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's daylight or not. Those cameras pick it up.
Yeah. Mhm.
No,
And
I
my
mean
car
that,
was on camera the whole time.
that it wasn't nighttime when this occurred.
He didn't
No,
have
he
that.
backed out. He backed out of Racing Mart and backed all the way across Pleasant Street and backed into my car and did almost $3,000 worth of damage.
At least nobody was in it.
Mhm.
No, nobody was in it.
Yeah.
And it's at the shop now, but I'm without my car for 10 days and, my insurance, of course, is paying for a loaner, but
So, that being said, I had a chat with Mardine about maybe approaching the Legion, that you could use parking area there for staff parking.
Yeah, that may be
I'll
something.
continue to park on Pleasant Street until we have our own cameras.
Yeah.
'Cause there's no cameras over there,
That's probably something we can talk
and
about.
there's too many losers that are around that parking lot.
Right.
But back on the cameras, Sarah.
Yeah.
Could they, ask them for some options as far as storage,
Right.
cloud or whatever. Get their opinions as to where things should be located. And also, I know Will is Chief Will is in favor of putting cameras there too. He may have some suggestions as to what areas to protect too.
That would be a good conversation to have.
I think
Yeah.
so.
And actually, the police might want a camera looking at that intersection, not for our use, but perhaps for their use, because things happen at that intersection. And, if they actually had a video recording what did happen, that would be useful to them in some circumstances. So.
They can take it out of their budget.
I know it's just one more camera. It's not a big deal. I mean, I'm just saying.
But yeah, if they were
Well,
willing to,
a camera may not show the intersection.
Yeah.
It depends on where you place it and what angles you have
Yeah.
it set up to record.
I know this is a serious topic, but if you ever watch those British crime movies, everything's on CCTV. Have you noticed
Yeah.
that?
Because over there, you're on CCTV everywhere.
Yes, they go,
Everywhere you go, you are.
yes. And it's like, how come
That's
we don't have
right.
that here?
Because in America, we're more about your freedoms. And
Freedoms,
rights
yes, your
and-
personal
yeah,
rights,
you have
yes.
your personal liberties and, yeah.
But I thought of that they're everywhere and how they just bring them up and there, they got the person. Then they zoom it in and, yeah.
oh boy. All right. Well, so Sarah's going to explore possibilities with that.
Sarah has an awful lot to explore.
I do.
Well, Sarah, I'm here to help you,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I know you are.
All right. Let's see. So our next thing is the library financial controls. They're giving me a headache. I don't understand. And what we are supposed to do with that form.
I told you, Alice, when I received it, I didn't know either.
Can you see the form on the screen right now?
Oh,
Yeah,
I want to make sure I got the right one up.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Mardine.
The only one I had an issue with was that last one, number 4. That segregation of duties.
that's what came out of the auditors. There were multiple incidences where only one person was signing off, so there were no check and balances. And a certain elected official was dinged multiple times.
However, our situation is a little different.
Yeah, one incident was, I think it was a payroll that Sarah signed off on, and I guess David should have signed, there should have been 2 signatures.
I've never signed the payroll.
That's, like I said, well, this is the first year with these new auditors, and I understand this way, it's checks and balances, it's a CYA. But yeah, the verbiage they use is heavy. I didn't understand a lot of it. And then Catherine said she was taking care of it. So I would communicate with Catherine and say, what do they want? If we need 2 signatures for every, if that's what you're looking for, okay, we'll take care of that.
We do have 2 signatures.
We'll see what
on
it says,
check.
lack of segregation of duty.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
So what do they want me to do? Should we
Yeah.
hire somebody else to? do
No,
part of
no,
it?
David, when you do it, you just get one of the other trustees to review it and add their signature. That's how
Well,
I
Our
understand it.
situation is different from the town. They have a finance staff. We
Yeah.
don't. We have 3 staff members in the library and we have 3 trustees.
Yeah.
We can't do the same type of segregation of duties that the town finance staff can do.
And
And
that's
I-
what,
I
yeah,
think we
that's
need
why,
to say that.
talk to Catherine and see.
I think we need to say that.
Yeah, I was wondering if one or more library trustees could just sign the bank statement.
I mean, that's. we
And then
can-
you see the checks and you see all the transactions.
Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of like having a manifest that when you have your, because we're
Wait a
meeting
minute,
remotely, where you would, on the BOS level, you needed 3 signatures. When Charlie was, we had to go back to that when Charlie left. There needed to be 3 signatures on the manifest, like it was when we had a town administrator.
But
That's how I understood it. They just don't want one person signing off on everything.
I think
This is-
what we need to do is explain our situation and basically say, where possible, we will look at getting a second signature where possible and where
Wait a minute.
necessary.
This has nothing to do with signatures. You read the thing.
I don't think it does.
Yeah,
it does.
custody of
Well,
assets.
that's what it's, lack of segregation of duties.
No, but if you look at the next sentence, treasurer has custody of assets, in charge of record keeping and reconciling. That's the issue. But we don't have the staff and we don't have the trustees to be able to separate all of those things.
So who wrote that?
This is from the assessors.
Okay,
I'm sorry, the auditors.
that's okay.
This is from the 2019 audit.
Audit.
I
And
believe.
but they
Yes.
don't say lack of segregation of duties. Here's what you need to do about it. So I feel like, oh well, thanks. We'll just keep
Well-
doing what we're doing.
Well, yeah, they didn't go into detail.
I mean, I'm inclined to just ignore it, but I don't want to get us in trouble.
No, Alice, you never ignore things. It doesn't make them
Why
go
not?
away. It doesn't make them go away. I would talk to Catherine and say, please, we're not the same as the town finance.
The treasurer is, we have to have one of the trustees has to be a treasurer, and the treasurer has those responsibilities. This is the way it's set up with our size of operation.
It's a very.
See, they
it's like
just
a-
use boilerplate language, considering the size and complexity of the entity. Okay, obviously they don't understand the size.
Yeah.
And it's
is a
not that
question of-
complex.
it's a question-
I would just run it by Catherine. Because I got the same thing that I was supposed to respond to, and I said, I don't have anything to do with this. How am I supposed to answer? And then it no longer became an issue. It wasn't my problem any longer. But I do know on the town level, there needed to be somebody looking over somebody's shoulders.
David,
So
what's your-
one person is not in charge of,
David, what's your suggestion?
Well, we're just a small business. It's like a store with one bookkeeper. That's
Yeah.
what it is. That's our
Yeah.
situation. So I don't know what you do about it.
I
Well,
think all we need to do is in a couple sentences, explain that, period. That's it.
Right. Yep.
That's it. Just a couple sentences, explain it, done.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah.
And
Like-
David could write up those sentences. He can explain it.
Okay.
I think probably the least you'd have to do is maybe discuss it at a meeting.
We did.
Yes,
We are
There you go.
it's done.
done and done.
The size of the entity and the complexity. Oh, geez.
Yeah, this is not language for
No,
our little library.
no.
Sorry, I have to turn some lights on.
And were any of you contacted when they did the audit?
Was,
You
Oh.
were?
David is. David always is.
Okay.
Yeah, they have our materials for the audit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're all set.
Mhm.
They even have the passbooks right at the moment.
My understanding was they were more thorough than the former auditors that the town was using.
Okay. I don't think they're like, waiting impatiently for this or
Well,
anything.
if they
but,
are, then they know how to contact you.
right. Yeah. Okay. So the grant, this is exciting. There's money.
I have to admit, I'm a little unclear what we can spend the money on. Perhaps somebody could explain it to me.
They don't have all details out yet. Let me see if I've got somewhere I've got that here.
I glean technology.
Oh, I know
What?
where. Okay, just a minute. I'll pull up. Let's see. Where is?
I do like the idea of a gazebo for access outside. But I think that's,
it might be
who
pushed.
knows, they might say, hey, that's creative.
Right, it is creative.
Yeah.
Hey,
You know,
didn't at one
nothing
time they
ventured,
want-
nothing ventured, nothing gained.
That's right.
That's right. That's what I say.
At
Yep.
one time, didn't they want to move the gazebo from the ballpark somewhere?
Yeah, but that's not in good repair.
No, it's not, but.
Oh, it's still good.
Okay, let me put this up on the
You
screen.
want one that will enhance the new addition.
Oh, yes.
Okay, here's the page on the website that explains it.
Yeah, see, the stuff that you discussed tonight, internet hotspots, accessible Wi-Fi, digital content, related resources.
Okay, make it a little bigger. Right here, David. Numbers 1 through 4.
More.
This is the first, our first information. There's going to be more detail coming.
Oh, no construction related projects. Oh, I guess that
No,
leaves out the gazebo.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't see that on my first look. I was
Oh, yeah.
hoping.
Either.
It's right there.
Me either.
Yeah.
If I would say, if you feel you need 2 more Chromebooks,
Exactly.
Right, digital
Um,
content would be nice to add.
that,
Sarah has talked about internet hotspots. You've talked about that.
it says including costs such as personnel. Do
Yeah.
you another need
So, additional digital content,
materials?
digital materials.
The movie streaming thing.
Yes, that
Oh,
would be
yeah.
fantastic.
There's a program that some libraries use that gives them access to a lot of magazines. Have you come across that? I can't remember the name of it.
We have that through New Hampshire Overdrive.
Okay,
There are over 2,000
okay, good.
magazines available.
That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, I just couldn't remember.
So I'm sure that the underserved populations between the SNAP and the broadband availability, Ashland qualifies.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
yes, yes. Mhm. Down a little bit further, it talks about, in a way, this is similar to a lot of the education school grants we used to get. It's an entitlement in a sense. You know what you're getting, but you do have to write a grant of some sort
Mhm.
to,
You have to, you have to state your,
Yeah.
why you want it,
Yeah.
why you want it and the value of it. You have to sell it. You have to sell it to them.
so we have to do that. There are two things in here. It talks about needing a DUNS number or an SAM.gov registration. The town has both of those. And I
Yes,
think,
we
you may have-
used the towns in the
Yes.
past. Yeah.
yes. And that SAM.gov registration has to do with receiving from federal funds also. And the town is a part of that. So I wanted to check on that today. Yeah, so you're, and the amount is,
$1,000
did I-
plus.
it's $2,900 and some odd dollars, I think that we're gonna get.
I'm sure this is gonna be highly competitive. That,
No, this part is not competitive.
no, it's
This
not.
part is, no, we know what we're going to get already.
Oh.
Uh,
Oh, I didn't,
We're
oh,
like
I didn't get past the first page.
Yeah,
This
Okay.
is like an entitlement, as I said. I've just got to find the right page. Oh, is it? Did I go?
Why isn't it alphabetical?
Right. It's by,
No, it's by county.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
where is it?
You're in Grafton County, you gotta go up.
Yeah,
Oh, this Grafton and Field.
but it'd
Ellen,
be right almost
There it is. There it is.
right at the top. It's $2,007. Yeah. I think there may be a competitive component coming later. There was
So
some
you're saying
reference.
that we don't have to really apply? It's like these stimulus checks?
We have to, in order to get it, we have to write a little grant that explains what our goals are and what we're going to use it for.
No, it's just not a freebie.
No.
You gotta, yeah, you gotta sell it. You gotta sell
Yeah.
it to them.
But it's not some, they will tell us what you have to include in the write-up, just like any grant. Yeah.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be difficult. Yeah.
Look at Haverhill look at Hanover. Wow.
This is based on population
I
and
know.
poverty rate. There's a, yeah.
Lebanon, yeah.
Yeah.
Poor
part
little
of-
Monroe.
The
They
base
only
of
have 813 people living here.
everybody gets a base amount of $1,000.
Mm.
Then there is a piece based on population, and then there is a piece based on dealing with poverty rate.
Mhm.
Huh. Interesting. Wow.
So that's, Sarah, you talked about your wish list of things that, and again, I think the concept is to be able to reach more people.
Yes, yeah, and beyond what we can provide in our budget.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
So, for example, what, Sarah, is on your wish list?
It's pretty ambitious. Well, the new computers and I mean, if we're talking about technology, hotspots, the internet upgrade, we'll come up with more.
Yeah.
I like the idea of providing more digital content
Yes.
and some kind of streaming service.
Mhm.
That's something we don't have. We
Yeah.
have audio,
Mhm.
ebooks and magazines, but not anything streaming.
Yeah. Mhm.
So we've already said there's a lot on Sarah's plate. But so I'd be willing to work on this. And Mardine, you've had experience with these kinds of things before.
Yeah. Go
She
ahead.
said- She said enthusiastically.
I have, and Sarah has too. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Well, when we get a
Alright.
little more details, I'll start getting some quotes and
Great.
some prices.
Mhm.
and We'll put it all together.
Okay. yeah, just keep me posted and whatever I can do,
Mhm.
I will do. It's exciting. Free
And at the
money.
at the very bottom, there's one sentence at the very bottom. Actually, a couple sentences. These checks for this first round, they're saying sometime maybe June, July, or August. It's got to go through several levels of authorization. But then it says a second competitive grant is planned for later this year, which would allow for greater amounts of money to be requested. So more information on that will be forthcoming. That will be somewhat competitive. And that's where
Yeah.
we can really begin to explore some big ideas.
Yeah. The thing with subscriptions is, that cost continues. So,
Continuing costs, yeah, so we would have to build that into the budget, yeah. Then.
right. But yeah. All right. Anybody have it? Sarah, I'm sorry I forgot to put the stuff about the technology that you had emailed me about, but we covered that, right?
We did, yes, thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
One, just
How about the securing the new furniture, outdoor furniture?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to put that stuff out there until we have cameras.
I agree with you, Lisa.
$1,000 worth of chairs.
I agree with you.
It's actually over $1,000 worth
Yeah.
of chairs. Yeah. I don't even want to put them out there until we have cameras.
Remember we discussed this at the Friends? Little did we know that it was going
Right.
to be an immediate concern.
Yeah,
Well, and they may not steal them, they might just vandalize them.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
There.
And, like the picnic
PSU
table
puts
that
out.
we ordered, the picnic table we ordered from the friends. Well, I ordered it for the friend after we had our meeting.
Yeah.
I ordered a picnic table and I just got an email last week saying the order has been canceled because they don't have any supply and don't know when they will get any supply.
oh, wow, yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm looking into some other options at this point, but I haven't found exactly what's ideal yet. It might, I have a couple of things in mind that are comparable, but again, why even put anything out there at this point, with no cameras, and then we're out, $300-400 for a picnic table and $1,000 worth of chairs,
Mhm.
and
I
no
think-
way to recoup any of that.
PSU, I'm pretty sure they locked down their Adirondack chairs.
I
just
haven't
don't know.
seen their chairs out this year.
Oh.
I
that's
drove
interesting.
by there the other day in front of Silver Hall and I didn't see any chairs out.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
Alice, like a bike lock or something and just lock them up two together, or is that what
Yeah,
they're doing?
I can't remember if yeah. Like, yeah,
Because I
how
thought I saw them moved around different places. Like I thought people could move
Yeah.
them where they wanted.
I think so, yeah.
I don't
Hmm.
know.
well, maybe somebody took them and that's why they're not in front of Silver.
I could ask Walter. Walter works there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Might be COVID too. Maybe they don't want to encourage people.
Oh, they're not
to-
putting them out. Yes. Yeah. Well, they have hammocks. I've seen pictures of some hammocks lately.
I don't know what COVID would have to do with it. I mean, it's outdoors.
Yeah.
Well.
Maybe they're waiting till it stops snowing. So
One thing I want to mention when we were talking about grants and at our last meeting talking about building and space. And I know Sarah has worked with USDA Rural Development. We need to keep that in mind because that is a good source to keep in mind as we're looking at building costs and so on. And I checked it again just today. For grants, we are in the category where a grant from them could cover up to 75% of cost.
Mm,
I don't know what the loan piece is figured a little differently. But again, I think there is a sliding scale depending on, because again, for us, what is greatly in our favor is the small size of our rural town and our median household income.
mhm.
And they're particularly interested in helping with things like handicap accessibility and
Yes.
some of the issues that we're looking to
Yes.
take care
And
of.
community facilities and library is one that's on the list. Yeah. Yeah. So as we go forward, also, I'm on the executive board at the Lakes Region Planning Commission. And the director is very helpful if we need some contacts, whether for rural development or they may have some ideas for other grant sources too. So when we get to that point, I can check with him as far as other possible uses and sources. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Mm, that
Bless
is
you.
good.
Okay, thanks, Mardine. I'm looking at my calendar for our next meeting.
Thursdays works best for me in May.
Okay. We've got Thursday the 20th would be pretty much 4 weeks.
Did you say the 20th, Alice?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
That looks good for me.
Okay. We're all agreed.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. I guess we
Wow.
are